Hey, it's Dan here again with Driftwood. I have another axe experiment. I showed some of you how I took a cheap axe and turned it up into a very nice axe. I basically told you how I did it. I didn't show you. So I have another brand new axe, and I'm going to do the same thing to it and show you a little more about how each thing is done. First thing you have to do is you have to take a look at the axe and see what you got. And actually, I got pretty lucky. This is actually a better axe than the first one was. It's better made. As you can see, the bit on the new axe is actually thinner than the bit on the old axe that I ground a lot of metal off to get it this thin. It's got a longer head. It appears to me, although I know this has to be drop forged, it's almost as if they spent more time elongating the head. You can see it's got a 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch of a hardening, which is plenty. Nicely shaped head, much better shape than the first one was. You also want to take a look at your handle. This one's got a really nice grain, and believe it or not, the handle is far rounder than the first handle. It'll take a lot less work to make a decent handle out of this. It's also a thicker handle, so there's more there to work with. Now, the first thing we're going to do is get the stickers off. I know it's a silly thing, but you just don't think about it. When you peel, when you're sanding and everything, you don't want the gum and the paper of that sticker. So we just go ahead and use a little heat and make sure we get them off clean. If we don't get them off clean, I hope you can hear me over the sound of this. If you don't get them off clean, you can use a little naphtha to take the rest of the gum off. That's pretty good sticker right there. Alright, so that's got the stickers off, set that aside to cool down. The next thing you want to do, ooh, I left a little bit of gum on there. I'll probably take that off because, well, I don't have to worry about it. Because the next thing, don't you wish this was the forged look? Wouldn't that be great? And you could just polish it, it'd have the silver right here. But no, this is actually just a epoxy paint kind of stuff, and we've got to get that off there. And we're going to use a remover. You want to get it off there. You don't want to clog up all your sanding stuff. It just costs you money. So it's best to get it off there. But in taking it off, we don't want to stain the handle. So I'm going to tape the handle off. And as you can see, there's still the curl from where this head was hydraulically pressed onto the handle. And you also see the head didn't go nearly as far onto the handle this time, it being so much thicker. So we want to take that off, but we can't because of the curl of wood there. And the answer for that curl of wood is just a good old-fashioned utility knife. Putting pretty good pressure on it. It's hickory. All the way around very nicely, because you want it all off. It's all got to come off at some point anyway, and you might as well get it done, because this taping is gonna last all the way through the polishing of the head. So you want it to be a good clean edge. And that's pretty clean. As you can see, I've just cleaned up the curl so the tape will lay down better. I'm going to start out with a piece of 3/4, just to get my tight tape. Right down there on the steel. And it doesn't matter if it curls up on you a little bit because of the shape, and because of the shape you can't really go over. So just tear it off and start over again. Luckily, masking tape has a lot of stretch to it. That's the trick. And you just keep stretching and pulling it to where you need it to be. And as long as you cover what has to be covered, you're fine. Because if you get any tape up on the area that you don't want tape, like on the metal where we're trying to remove, you just come back with that same knife and trim it off. Now that I've got the 3/4 around it, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little space by wrapping it with a piece of 2-inch. That's just, I don't want to do that. Fold these things in half so they don't stick to everything in the shop. Alright, I'm going to mash that down good so that's all well done. Get this out of the way. I've just got an old plastic bag here. Something to protect my counter with, my workbench. I've got a pretty nasty workbench already, so I'm thinking with one of my nail beds here that I normally use for painting, I might somehow, yeah, like that right there, be able to remove the mess on both sides. And I'm just going to use a chemical stripper that is rated for aircraft and epoxy, because I believe this is an epoxy. And I've just got a nasty brush here because I'm out of chip brushes. I need to get some. And of course you can't use a foam. I've got a few foam brushes, but you can't use a foam brush with this stuff. Ooh, imagine I should have shook that. She's a wee bit runny. What have I done? There we go. There we go. That's better. Still very runny, but better. And this being so runny, I don't think I had any need to set up to raise it up, because I don't think I'm going to be doing two sides of this. Because this is quite runny. And it will just pull right back off. Really want this stuff on there kind of thick. And later on, when you look at it, you'll see that the spots where it's thicker, it's removed a whole lot more stuff. Okay, that's basically got a good start at it. I'm going to let this sit for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes till the paint starts to bubble up. Then I'll come back with my scraper, scrape it good, flip it over, do the other side. And more than likely, with this is an epoxy, I believe, not really a paint. It's going to take 2 applications on both sides. I'm not going to film all that. You guys can figure out how to do that. But I will be back once I've got the paint off the head. See you then.